Hey there, happy Monday, everyone. Tonight we are stitching the embroidery of the month. It is the butterfly embroidery. We're going to be doing some blanket stitching and some whipped back stitching for this. So thanks again for coming for Craft Night with Friends here. My name's Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners, and I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can just relax and craft for about an hour here. So, all right, tonight, our new embroidery of the month. We'll be stitching this all week this week, and yeah, like I said, blanket stitch and whipped back stitch, two stitches we haven't really done here, or not often at least, so I think it'll be fun to play around with this one this week. All right, let's get going. Okay, hello everyone. I hope you have all your stuff ready. I have my bundle all put together here, so I have my pre-printed fabric here. You can trace it on if you want from the PDF pattern. I have my PDF pattern open, all ready to go here. I have it open to the page where we have the stitches, the stitch and color guide. Basically, it tells me what color floss to use and what stitches to do where. So I'm going to just have that open nearby me right there. Here's a finished one. So tonight I think we're going to start with this blanket stitch that is going all the way around the wings here. So that is the start. Well, Lenore says sunny and 70 in Kenosha. I think we got to 80 degrees today here. We went for a walk this evening, and we have the windows open, and man, I feel like I'm still sweating from the walk. Haven't felt that way in a while. Here, that's for sure. But yes, feeling summery today. Perfect time to stitch a butterfly. All right, just getting it in my hoop here. I'm not making it too taut or anything. I'm making it taut, but I'm not stretching it, really. I just need to hold it in place evenly is what my intention is here. And sometimes I just want to make sure that the design is actually straight in there. Sometimes if you pull funny, it can distort it, so I'm just trying to make sure that it's good. All right. I'm going to zoom down here, but know that I do have this open, and I'll be looking at it, even if you can't see it there. Oh, Marianne says warmer in Minnesota than Florida yesterday. Isn't that something? People, I think, underestimate how cold and how hot Minnesota actually gets. It can get like humid and in the hundreds sometimes here. It's not often, that's pretty rare, but still. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the blanket stitch that's going all the way around there, and that's in the ink, the black color. So I'm gonna just take those guys off of that. I love all these, got some kind of bright, juicy, summery colors here for this project. Okay, I got my little needle minder hanging out here with a needle. All right, let's find the end here. There you are. Okay, so I'm going to stitch with 3 strands of floss. I know I haven't done that in a while. I've been hanging out with the 2 strands of floss, but I want these lines to be a little thicker. So I'm going to stitch with 3 instead of 2. So I'm going to go back to my good old away knot way of stitching for the first bit, and I'll show you that again. Haven't done that in a while either. So, all right, I'm getting my 3 strands out by pulling them out individually. It's just so much faster. You wouldn't think it's faster, and you'd think it'd get all tangly, but it really is faster than trying to pull the 2 sides free and having it in your mouth and all that sort of stuff. Oh, Poppy the puppy says hello. That's awesome, Becky. Susan says it's pleasant in Pennsylvania. Oh, and Gretchen says she loves this design so much. I am really, really liking it too. I think it's going to be fun to stitch. The whipped backstitch I'm pretty excited about. It almost looks like baker's twine. You don't have to do two colors for it, but if you look closely, you can see that all the rest of this is whipped backstitch. So here it's really, you can see a lot. So that's black and blue together. You know, here we got like orange and pink, and here we have yellow and orange. It kind of makes everything feel brighter and like shiny almost. I feel like just you can't quite pin down that color right away, so it's almost shimmery because of it. And that's what I'm excited about here. All right, so to start with 3 strands of thread, we're not doing the loop method tonight because we have an odd number of threads. So I'm going to start with an away knot. And my goal is to not have knots on the back. I just think my threads get caught on those knots often, and it just makes a cleaner back without all the knots on the back. But that's hard to do when you don't have anything to weave in. Like, I can't weave the end of the floss into anything yet because I don't have anything here. So I am going to start with an away knot. I think I'm going to start on this edge here and go this way. So I am going to put the thread about 4 inches away from my starting point. That's maybe a little shy, but I think will be good. So I'm coming from the front, and it's just going to hang out there. What we're doing, and then I'm going to come up at my starting point here. So I'm going to stitch the blanket stitch around this edge here. It's not this inside piece, that's going to be a different color, but this outside edge and all these vertical lines will be taken care of at once. So all we're doing with the away knot, I mean, you can kind of see it on the back there, but we're reserving this thread for later, and we'll weave in that thread. Oh, Sharon says, I love this stiletto so much, and it was delivered Saturday. Yay, good. Ugh, I am loving it as well. We actually have a few of these kits left, and I'm going to try putting together some with a few other beads as well. But man, I use it every time I sew. I just love it. Okay, a blanket stitch. It's in the family of like a chain stitch or a feather stitch. All the stitches where you need to kind of catch the loop to hold it there. A fly stitch. So what we're going to do is, all right, I'm going on this upper edge and these lines here. So sometimes you won't always have these lines as a guide, so you'll just have the one line. So you want to go over a stitch and down a stitch length, basically. And I'm going to go in there, and I want the loop kind of going over, the top line a little bit. So I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to come up back on that top line, and I want to go on the inside of this loop so I can snag it, basically. Ooh, I should maybe use the thread conditioner just to hold my strands together a little bit. But there we go. So I've basically snagged this loose loop, kind of what we do in a chain stitch. We're just not starting and stopping at the same spot. So I'm going to hold that up again. I'm going to go over on my line a stitch length and then down a stitch length, and that's where I'm going to go. It's all drawn out here, but like I said, it's not always drawn out. So you just got to guess a stitch over and a stitch down. All right, and then coming back into the loop, and we're going to catch that loop again. And there we go. That's all there is to it. It's like we get to do 2 stitches at the same time. So we're going to get all these done like twice as fast, which is great. So I like holding it with my thumb here just to get it out of the way and get that loop. You can also go in and out in the same motion. So in and out. There we go. I don't always find that comfortable though. I like my stabbing method, even though it can sometimes be slower, but I like it. Okay, and I'm going to just continue catching that loop, and we're just going to go all the way around. All the way around this wing. I don't know if we'll make it that far, hopefully. I'd like to be able to make it that far. Probably would be a little bit faster if I did the sewing method. Fine, let's do the sewing method for a little. So the sewing method is when you go in and out in the same motion, and I do kind of like having my fabric a little looser in the hoop to do that because it's easier to go down and up when the fabric moves a little. So down and up. See, with the stretchy fabric, it's a lot easier. So I'm going to try and make sure that that thread is going underneath the needle there. If it's not, you can always tuck it underneath, like so. And then we're just going to cruise around this way. I always kind of like shaping the stitch at the end too. Like if I'm stitching here, if I'm pulling way over here, I might have it way too, like it might not be right on the line. It's kind of a little too pointy, so I'll just pull on it a little bit more, get some of that slack pulled in, and then it just changes the shape of it just a little bit. So I like pulling a little extra and then holding it back up there. Yeah, sewing method working well tonight. So I'm not going to worry about this bottom line here. That's going to be one of our whipped back stitches. Yes, Connie, so this is the blanket stitch. And what's cool is you can actually do this exact same stitch around the edge of a piece of fabric. And I can show you guys that too if you want tonight. So this is, I suppose, technically a surface blanket stitch versus an edging blanket stitch. But yep, blanket stitch. But it's exactly the exact same if you're going along the edge. The difference is I'm not coming out right here, like right there. I'm just going around the entire edge instead. When we start the next piece of floss, I can show you on the edge of this fabric, but it's literally the same thing. All right, I'm just keeping on rotating the piece so it's easy for this hand to go in and out versus me kind of twisting my hand all around. Oh yeah, Gretchen, that's a great point. Gretchen says, I love blanket stitch with applique. So I definitely do that a lot. So if you're appliquing, you know, some felt onto some another piece of felt, blanket stitch is a really pretty decorative stitch for that. And that's you're kind of going around the edge and you're doing it on the surface sort of at the same time in that case. Going around the edge of the front piece, but ultimately going through the surface of the back piece. Oh, I don't think I'm going to have enough floss. Bummer. But we won't be able to tell, I don't think. Oh, Amy says I use this stitch with wool applique as well. Yep. Holds it down nicely and is decorative. And it actually kind of covers the edge of an applique piece a little bit. So we're protecting the edge. But in our case, it's just purely decorative. And really, if you didn't want to do a blanket stitch here, you could just do like a back stitch and then like stitch all these straight stitches separately. Be done with it that way too. This way you'd have like a little bit more texture, I think, on the edge, and I think it would go a little faster than doing like a back stitch and then all these stitches separately. But that would work too. Getting there, almost out. I might revert back to the stabbing method soon just to It's going to be easier to hold the hoop and do that, I think. Look how fast this is going, though. I mean, we're going to get this whole wing done really quickly here. Yeah, all right. I'm just because it's more comfortable in my hand now, I'm going to switch back to the stabbing method. Not nearly as fast. But less awkward for my hand right now. I do like getting my thumb in here to hold it because it also holds the last stitch back a little bit so it doesn't deform as I'm doing the next stitch. Oh, definitely not gonna quite make it there. Oh my God, I might actually get there. It'll be so close. Oh, that'd be great because then I know that I'll have just enough for the other wing as well. Oh my God, it's so close. We're doing it. All right, so to finish a row, typically, you know, it's just like a chain stitch where we gotta hold down that loop somehow. Oops, sorry about that. Typically, you just make a little small anchor stitch on the other side of the stitch, but we actually have like one more like horizontal stitch to do here, and that's gonna be kind of our anchor stitch to hold it down. So there we go, just like so. And dang, that wing is done super duper fast. And we had enough floss, which is the best. So look how fun it looks like on the back too. So I'm gonna weave in this end and then I'll cut our original piece there and I'll weave that in as well. So yay, totally enough thread. And I think I'm gonna just weave the next wing in right here and then I'll jump across the body of the butterfly because right there we'll have more stitching, it looks like. Oh, it's gonna come out here. Okay. Man, that felt super duper fast. All right, so here's our away knot from earlier. I'm just gonna pull that up a little bit and cut the knot off. All right, we don't need that anymore. And then we've basically released our little storage of floss there. So I'm gonna rethread that and we'll weave that in as well. So that's kind of how I deal with 3 strands when I do 3 strands of floss, which used to be kind of my go-to, and it still is, I suppose. Now I'm kind of fluctuating between using 2 strands of floss and 3, just because with 2 strands of floss, I can do that loop method to start, which is so nice. But this gives you a little thicker line, and I wanted that for this butterfly. All right, just enough to do that as well. Trim that. There we have no knots, nothing that anything will get caught on, just the way I like it. So, all right, I think we'll continue down on this edge and continue kind of going up almost like we did like a circle of this whole thing. So I'm going to weave in, like I said, right here again, and then we'll be jumping. I don't usually like jumping across open shapes, especially if they're black, because you'll be able to see it. But since we have this kind of little line here in the body, I think that will hide any jumping that we do across to here. So I'm feeling okay about it. And I'm excited because I know that this other piece of thread is going to be just the right length. Why don't we try the thread conditioner tonight? Just because it was kind of a little bit kind of, they were trying to separate on themselves, the floss. So let's just scooch them back together again, run my hand over them. Ooh, yummy, smells so good. I always forget about that. So these are the thread conditioners. It's just basically wax and maybe some oil, so it smells good. There we go. And I'm just running my, holding it down with my finger and running my floss through it. And it's just going to hold the floss together a little bit more, strengthening it a little bit from the friction of going through the fabric a bunch of times. And this one happens to smell good. So this is the Wisecraft from Wisecraft Handmade. And it's yummy. I like the Earl Grey. We'll leave that out here. Okay. So I don't have to do that away knot anymore because I do have some stitches on here. So I don't need to tie that end in a knot. I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to weave into this bit that we already did here. I always like weaving in 3 times because that really secures it. If you just go 2, you can kind of pull it out still. So I always go towards where I want to stitch for the first bit. So I'm going towards the part and then away for the second pass. And that way, when I start towards, I'll end up towards it as well. There we go. Now I'm going to just jump across. And we're going to start right here. And let's see if I can do that sewing motion again. I kind of am resting this on the table here just to get my thumb able to hold this better. Oops, I got a little stuck there. There we go. All right. Man, I think we'll get all these wings done, the outside of the wings today, super duper easy. That's great. Oh, there's actually some satin stitch in here too. So we got 3 stitches here. Some satin stitch, this blanket stitch, and that whipped back stitch. I'm excited to get started on that. You can actually, I designed this so that if you didn't want to do the whipped back stitch, you're actually stitching the, monarch butterfly colors first. So if you just want to leave it there and not add any of the pink and yellow for the whip stitch or the blue, you can, and it'll look pretty. And we'll actually get to that point first before we do any of the whipped part of the back stitch. So you can decide then. You can see what it'll look like without. And if you like those colors better, then you could actually use those colors to whip the stitch, or just leave it and call it a day without any of the whipped back stitch at all. It'll make sense once we get that far, which, I don't know, probably Wednesday. By Wednesday we should be there. Oh yeah, so 3 strands, Kalina's saying 3 strands is just a bit harder to pull than the 2. It is. So if you are using a really tightly woven, like for example, a quilting weight fabric, those are really tightly woven. It might be hard to pull, like this part, like where the floss and the needle and everything meet, where it folds over the edge, where you're actually doubling the floss there. That could be hard, like right this part to pull through. So the tighter weave fabric, the harder that's going to be. So I would suggest if you do a couple stitches and you find that, like, oh my god, there's no way I'm going to be able to stitch this with this much floss, you know, I need a pliers to pull it through, or like if you're feeling like that, it is not going to be fun. So I would definitely just go down to the 2 strands if that's how you're feeling. It's not going to look that different. Oh, sheesh. Okay. I'm just really excited how fast this is going. This blanket stitch. There we go. Ooh, I did some embroidery this weekend too, of like a fun new project. And Jenna did some embroidery too. She embroidered up the June embroidery of the month. So we got a lot of new embroidery stuff gonna pop up soon here. Can't wait to show you. We're getting close. We're going to be launching the new website early in June. So we'll have some new stuff on there. We're working hard on that right now. It's kind of sucking up all of our brain power, as big projects do. But we have a lot of neat features that we'll be rolling out that I think you guys will really like. I'm especially excited for the digital library. So from here on out, all your digital files will be saved there. Oh shoot, I just pulled my needle off of here. Let's get that back on. So that's coming up. Oh, and we extended our sale, so we have a 10% off sale going the whole month just to help us clear the shelves a little bit to make way for the new website stuff. But we've also extended our weekend sale through today. The weekend sale is the 40% off the embroidery kit section. So it's 40% off in addition to the 10% off. So it's like 50% off the embroidery kits through the night. Our emails didn't go out on Sunday, so we're like, ooh, let's extend it one more day. So the 10% off is automatic once you get to the end of the checkout process, but there is a code for the 40% off. Maybe, Jenna, you can post the code in the Facebook comments, just because I think I remember the code, but I don't want to say it wrong. But yeah, so that's for the kit section through tonight. So yeah, if you were going to make any of our kits for anyone for Christmas or something, they're basically 50% off for the day. We're hoping to do some other fun little sales, but that's going to be the big one is those kits. Ooh, we're getting close to the end here. Oh, misprinted red floss in the sale again. Oh no, I think, Amy, I think we've actually used up all of that red floss, that misprinted red floss. We've been using it for to wrap packages in, and so I think we just finished up the rest of that. yeah, it's a good color. That northern cardinal color. Yeah, Kimberly says, Christmas, we haven't even hit summer yet. I know, but I know some of y'all are working on the Christmas stuff already. I'm with ya. That's hard for it hurts my brain a little bit to think about that, but I know in crafty land here, people do think about that for sure. All right, so I actually have a little bit of floss left. So I'm going to do this little anchor stitch here, but I think I'm going to start stitching. I'm going to just use up the rest of this floss to do some back stitches because all of the butterfly body and the antenna are black back stitches to start out with. Eventually we'll do that blue whip, but why waste a couple inches of thread here, of floss here, when I know I can just use it a little bit right here. Maybe I'll start going up this antenna here. I don't think I'll make it all the way to the top though. This is maybe a dumb idea. I'll make it a little ways there. Oh, okay. So Jenna posted the code in Facebook in it. So it's okay. So it's Kit 40 Yay. All lowercase is the 40% off code for the kit section. So you have to go to the kit section for that, and then so KIT all lowercase, and then 40, and then oh, my finger got stuck on that there, and then after the 40 YAY, again all lowercase. So that you'll plug in at the checkout, and then when you're at the point like where you're putting your address in and stuff, then you'll see both that discount and the extra 10% off. That will come at the end there. Okay, I'm totally made it up to the top here, but I don't think I can get this little, oh gosh, what would that be called? What are those little tops of the antenna called, I wonder? Ugh, totally not going to be able to get that. Ugh, that's a huge bummer. It would have been great if I could have gotten all the way to the top. That's about maybe 4 stitches worth, but oh man, do I dare try? Maybe I can get it. It'd be just so annoying to have to come back. Ugh, no, there's no way. I gotta go back. No way I can. I'm not even gonna be able to weave in this. But we didn't waste that thread. I got a little more stitching done. I'm calling them antenna bobbers. Oh, Kimberly said they're called thingies. Well, that makes sense. Alright. Just enough thread to weave that in. Snip the excess. Okay. Let's keep going with those wings. I mean, maybe we can even get all of the black done tonight. That would be awesome. For sure we'll get this little bit done quick. So here I might go, the bottom bit here, and then I might actually stitch part of this, instead of jumping across, I might actually do the back stitch for this bottom part of the abdomen or whatever here, and then do the rest. And then I'll probably have some left over. Well, I don't know if I will, but if I do, then I'll kind of come up here and maybe try and do the rest of this. Oh man, I'm not doing the traveling maze of getting all these, like without jumping around. I'm not doing that very well, I don't think, but I want to get the blanket stitched on first because I think that's fun. All right. grabbing another, 24 inches or so of floss, kind of my go-to amount, just eyeballing it. Ooh, sensor things. Is that what they're called? Now I need to know. The little thingy-majobbers on top of the antenna there. Okay, 3 strands. I think we'll continue to use that thread conditioner. It's not necessary to do that, but it smells nice and smelling nice, adding a scent to your crafting just makes it enjoyable, I think. Okay. Through there. Stray fuzzles everywhere. Okay. Yeah, let's finish the blanket stitch and then I'll worry about the path on how to get the rest of this done. So I am going to weave in the ends right here though, and then we'll start there. Seems like a smart place to do it. So I'll start this way. 1. Just trying to grab as many threads as I can. Oh, feelers, that's a good way of thinking. Feeler sensor thingies. That sounds for sure like the scientific name for it. Alright, there we go. There's some fuzzles there that I could trim off, but they're not going to get in my way, I don't think. Okay, same deal here. Let's do that sewing method that's been going speedily. Alright, so it's this outer line again, not the inner line. Catching that loop. Oh, I didn't show you how to do the blanket stitch here. So I'll show you quick. I'll take it out though. So it's the exact same. You do want to start your blanket stitch with a little loop, like so. And then I actually go, so now we're going, like, see around the edge there, actually like going on the other side of the loop and coming through for the first bit. So that's kind of like my setup phase. And then it's just the same thing, but imagine, you know, we don't have any more floss coming that way. So I'm going to go down and up. But, you know, instead of coming up through the fabric, I'm just behind the fabric, and then the floss goes behind my needle, just like how we are doing at the bottom. And you just pull up. Cut some fuzzles there. And it just rests on top. So let's do another one. Just through the loop. So you could do this at the edge of a blanket. I know this is popular like on fleece blankets, but exactly the same, except for you're just going around the edge instead of coming back up. But there we go. There's a blanket stitch on the edge, roughly. Same deal though. Same exact stitch. So I'm going to pull all that out. But yeah, it's a fun stitch to do. And you can make them closer if you want. Like if you want it more dense, like a denser edge, you could put them like really close to each other. Or, you know, like I'm doing a little farther apart. Ugh, okay, there we go. I'm missing the conversation a little. It looks like Jenna's trying to sell you guys on that 40% off, which is nice. Antennae are used to smell, balance. Butterflies have 2 segmented antennae, with small, ooh, club at the end. Is that, oh, so that, Amy looked it up. That's according to Google. Ooh, I like that. That's a more fun name than I thought it was going to be. Okay, with the little club on the end. Love when I learn stuff here. I wonder if they're physically used for, like, as a club too. Like, I don't know, do monarchs battle it out? Probably. Maybe those, like, feel and smell around and stuff, but maybe they are actually used for defense or something too. Be interesting. The club on the end of the antenna. I like it. Ugh, keep losing my needle here. Oh man, I keep thinking I'm smelling the thread conditioner, but I'm not. John brought in some lilacs, or a little, like, lilac sprig 2 days ago, and that's what I'm smelling. We have some lilac bushes, like, dividing our driveway with the neighbors. They didn't actually do very well this year, but there are some on there. I mean, some years it's just the entire thing is full of purple lilacs, just the entire length of the driveway. But I don't know. Maybe maybe it's just an off year for it. But there's still some. So John picked some. Oh, you can make lilac jelly? That's interesting. That would be kind of fun. I would think that'd be good in, like, tea. Like a glob of that jelly in, like, tea instead of, like, honey or something. All right, so I'm just going to put a little stitch right on the other side of this stitch to hold it down. That's going to be my little anchoring stitch. There we go, because we need to hold it in place somehow. Okay, now I'm going to actually just stitch around the bottom here just to get myself back up to the top, or back to these blanket stitches instead of jumping across. I mean, I need to do these stitches anyway, so more back stitches. It's going to be a little wacky looking, but might as well get some stitching out of it. What just popped in my head was a song, like, from one of these little, like, growing up, like, the cassette tapes of, like, I don't know, just goofy, like, learning songs for kids. And we're talking about the antenna, and this is what made me think of it just now. But it's for insects, and it goes like head, thorax, abdomen. They're inside out, no bones within. That's what I remember from the insect song. But that's how I have to sing that in my head to remember the parts of the insect. They're inside out, no bones within. All right, we're around. Let's get the rest of this blanket stitch done. Oh, so now I'm kind of coming up at the same spot here. That was kind of maybe a weird way to do it, but it works. Actually, I'm doing this kind of weird. There we go. Really just had to make a little straight stitch there before starting. Exactly. It's like conjunction junction. Well, What's your function? Man, that song's gonna be in my head all night now. Carolyn, it's for all the kits in the kit section. So it's, yes, it's all the embroidery kits, but not the embroidery of the month. So this wouldn't be part of it. But all our other embroidery kits, yes, it should be in there. And again, we extended it just till today, like so through the evening and stuff, just because we were just gonna have it go through Sunday, but then our email didn't go out, so we felt bad not having the reminders, so we plopped it on today too. And then there's a 10% off the entire store as well, and so there's no code for the 10% off. That you'll see once you're all the way like at the shopping or the shipping part, then of the checkout, then it'll pop up. Whereas I think the 40% off code you put in a little earlier, but it'll do the double. It'll be both, so it'll end up being 50% off the kits. All right. Oh, and basically last stitch. Let's just anchor that down there. Man, I kind of feel like we have enough floss that I could kind of come back here and kind of, I don't know, trace around something here. God, I'm being really awkward with my path still, though. I could come up here, maybe. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to shimmy through the backs of these stitches. Get a few more stitches out of this floss. Not much, though. Okay. Let's, I guess, start here. Maybe I can go up to here and then crawl up and get those little satin stitches of the club. Ooh, I'm excited for tomorrow. We'll be adding in like all the fun color, all the pretty orange, and these little balls there are gonna be the pink. So all this black is gonna get a whip. It's gonna get the whipped part of the back stitch too. But again, like I said, you could leave it without doing the whipped part and it would still be like the pretty like monarchy color. The orange and the blacks. Okay, so do I have enough to kind of crawl up there? Ugh, we're gonna try. All right, this is maybe dumb, but we're doing it anyway. So I'm gonna try and crawl up to where we were before and have like just enough thread, oh God, barely, to do these clubs are gonna be in a satin stitch. You could do like a lazy daisy here, but I tried to keep it to like 3 stitches for this project, so made these like a fun little satin stitch. Just need like 3 or 4 little stitches in there. We're just making that little end a little bit bigger. Yeah, I kind of think 3 will do the job there. I like it just like that. All right, great. So now I'm gonna weave in that end, and now we won't have to crawl up there later to, oh shoot, lost the thread there. We won't have to go up there later to finish off that little end. All right, let's get another piece of that black going. I think we can I think we'll probably be able to get around this tonight. And I left a path going for me, so I think I can start. I think I can start here, go down to here. I think I'm not going to jump across though. I'll like weave in the bottom of the abdomen there, and then I'll come up here, get the rest of these curves, and end up right there at the top. And then that'll be it for the black for the butterfly. I still have to do the black for the fly text. I don't know if we'll get that done tonight. But maybe we do that quick tomorrow, just because then we'll have all the black done across the whole piece. And then we can start going in and add all the orange and the pink. That'll all be backstitch though, so I think that'll take a little bit longer than this blanket stitch. Man, we cruised this blanket stitch tonight. That went so fast, which is awesome. That's a great way to start an embroidery, with a stitch where you can get a lot done all at once. That's nice. All right, I didn't use the thread conditioner this time, so we'll see if it feels different. I forgot, and I'm already doing it, so not going back. Okay, ooh, got a little hair there. All right, let's crawl down this edge. So now I'm just doing a plain old backstitch. We'll connect with that extra little stitching that I already did at the bottom. I think that's a 3-stitch space, not a 2-stitch. Alright, so let's connect those. Alright, so now instead of jumping across, I'm just going to travel along the edge here. And that's just, again, so I don't see all those jumps on the front. I mean, if you were stitching with like a stabilizer on the back here, you might not see it. But instead of jumping, I just travel up along the backs of some stitches. There we go. Now you won't see it any different on the front. All right. Continue our back stitches up this side. That blanket stitch does add a lot of pretty texture to this. Something just a little different, something we haven't done a lot of. I don't think we'll run out of floss before we hit the end here. That'd be good. You know, I'm not stitching with it upright all the time. I'm just stitching it where it feels best in my hand to hold the hoop, and I like feeling the backs of the stitches where I'm stitching. So I keep turning it so that hand can reach easier. All right, now we'll go upright again. So feel free to move however it's comfortable. Oh, thanks, Colleen. Colleen is loving the beautiful butterfly in an outline. I mean, honestly, that's totally legitimate too. Like, this is just like some black work. I mean, you could stitch this all in orange or all in red. And, you know, this is totally a style. And this is actually a very popular, if you're scrolling Instagram, in the searching for embroidery, just black line art is really popular right now. Oops, I think I'm getting a little knot there. And it's just really pretty. So you could legitimately just stitch this all in black and it'd be really kind of it'd be like striking, just that fabric and the black together. Okay, we're getting there. There, we did 3 stitches. We did all 3 stitches. Oh, we didn't do the whip part of the back stitch, but we did a back stitch, blanket stitch, and a teeny tiny bit of satin stitch tonight. It's fun to do all that. Lots of stitches. So this butterfly is actually going to be a tiny, tiny different than the example butterfly because I accidentally stitched the wrong colors in a couple of the parts. So we're going to do it how the instructions say on this one, and then we can kind of see what we like better. It's super subtle, a very subtle difference. But it's there. We'll get to that when we get to the whipped part. All right, all we have left is those little bits of satin stitch up top here. So let's just start at the top, I guess. I kind of did the middle first, so we'll get one on this side. I did 3 stitches for the other one, so I kind of want to stick with that. Then get in the other side. There! Pretty! So black outline for the butterfly done. I mean, we covered a lot of ground, a lot of surface area tonight here. I still have the fly to do in black. Let's weave in the end here. I'll probably get a fresh piece of floss for that because hopefully I can do it all in one strand, and then that will be it for the black. So I think we'll start there tomorrow just to like get it done. We wouldn't have to, but it's kind of nice wrapping up one color before moving on to the next. There we go, looking fun. It would be pretty just like that. You could do all the rest of this in black, the circle in black, and it would be really nice. Just one color. I hadn't thought about that, but I think that would be kind of pretty. All right, you guys. Okay, so I'm stoked for this week. Based on tonight, I think this is actually going to go faster than I thought. So I don't know, maybe we'll be done before Friday. So maybe we'll have an extra little free day on Friday. Or maybe we'll still be stitching this, who knows. But here we are so far. Yeah, look from far away. That is just really nice, just a little silhouette like that. I love it. Ooh, this would be fun. All different sizes, just a black outline. Ugh, I do like it. We might as well just stop right now. I kind of like it just like this. All right, we'll keep going. So tomorrow, finishing that black, and then we'll start on the colors there. But I'm already having fun with this embroidery for sure. So awesome. So thanks again, everyone, for joining me. Feel free to share this in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. Share your how far you are with your butterfly. And let me know if you have any questions while we're in the lives or over in the group as well. And we will keep working through the butterfly. All right, so have a fabulous evening, everyone. I'm just peeking at your comments. And I will see you tomorrow. All right. Good night, everyone.